Now, Striker, you will see what a true Archmagnos Feneratus is capable of. All ships fan out. Use the asteroid field to funnel their forces.
The Argo advanced on the left flank, while the Liberty took the right, positioning itself to engage the Chaos escorts, while the Rough Rider squadron took point. The Emperor's Hand fell into formation right behind the Argo to pick off any vessels that managed to pass her. The Liberty fired its Nova Cannon, but missed its target. In an attempt to control the Chaos Fleet's movement, the Argo, Emperor's Hand, and Rough Rider squadrons fired torpedoes, effectively blocking the fastest route the Chaos Fleet could take to engage our vessels. The Chaos vessels took the bait. In an attempt to bottleneck our fleet, the bulk of their forces closed in on the two paths, while a small portion of the fleet broke off to try and cover our escape route out of the system. The Butcher Squadron fired on the Rough Riders, but their shields held under the assault. The Star Crusher fired at the Argo, dropping its shields. Then it and the Loki launched assault claws. As torpedoes sailed on their way, the Butcher Squadron lost one of their vessels to incoming torpedo fire. The Star Crusher's assault claws closed in on the Argo, while the Loki's assault claws moved into flanking position. Feeling that they had the advantage, the Rough Riders closed in on the Butcher Squadron, doing their best to keep as close to the asteroid field as possible for cover. The Liberty advanced right into a salvo of torpedoes, but thankfully its turrets managed to destroy them. It would seem that the Star Crusher's attack was a blessing. The resulting energy disbursement caused the Argo to lose most of its forward momentum, keeping it just out of range of the assault claws that were right in front of it. Confident that the assault claws no longer posed a threat to the Argo, the Emperor's Hand squadron closed in on the Star Crusher. The Liberty fired its Nova Cannon at the Star Crusher, this time hitting its mark. The massive explosion dropped the vessel's shields and burned away layers of armor plating. It then fired its port lances at the Star Crusher, dealing a critical hit.
The starboard armaments have been destroyed. Our repair crews are attempting to get them back online as we speak.
The Liberty then fired on the Chosen's Way, but didn't manage to deal any damage. The Rough Riders then fired on the Butcher Squadron, destroying one of the Idolator escorts. Not willing to waste this chance opportunity the Omnissiah gave them, the Argo launched fighters to deal with the assault claws. The Emperor's Hand tried to finish off the Star Crusher, but missed. The Rough Riders then launched torpedoes, but they harmlessly flew off into space. The Emperor's Hand launched their own wave of torpedoes, but were still unsuccessful at finishing off the Star Crusher. While the Argo's fighters did manage to destroy the assault claws, half the claws sent by the Loki managed to destroy 2 ships of the Emperor's Hand squadron, while the other half moved around the other side of the asteroid field. The Butcher Squadron and the Chosen Way closed in on the right flank, hoping to contain our vessels, while the Star Crusher moved in on an asteroid field to gain cover from the Liberty's Nova Cannon. The Headhunter Squadron took point, getting right on top of the Emperor's Hand, with the Loki coming about to set up a broadside attack. The Butcher Squadron and the Chosen's Way unloaded into the Rough Riders, destroying all but one ship, while the Emperor's Hand was completely wiped out by the Headhunters and the Loki. The Headhunters attempted to attack the Argo, but couldn't break through their shields. The Argo was then assaulted by more assault claws.
We're taking a lot of damage here. Our weapon systems all went offline for a moment, but we were able to get them back up. We gotta finish this fast. I don't know how much longer we'll be able to keep this up.
The Rough Riders' remaining vessel closed in on the Chosen's Way, while the Liberty repositioned to get a clear line of fire. The Argo moved up on the Loki and the Headhunters. It was a desperate ploy, but Graham refused to lose this battle and planned to do whatever he could to win. The Rough Rider squadron attacked the Chosen's Way, but didn't break its shields. The Liberty fired its Nova Cannon on the Loki, dealing minimal damage. The Liberty then fired its starboard lances at the rest of the Butcher Squadron and the Chosen's Way, but was only able to destroy the Escort Squadron. The Argo fired on the Headhunters, destroying one ship. It then launched bombers and fired its torpedoes.
All hands, brace for impact.
For the Star Crusher, it was a wasted attempt, as the torpedo wave left it holding together only by the sheer will of the Chaos Demons her tainted crew worshipped. The Loki, on the other hand, managed to weather the bomber assault, taking very little damage. The Rough Rider squadron attacked the Chosen Way with torpedoes, but failed to hit, even at such a close range. The Chosen Way locked on to the Liberty. The Star Crusher, desperate for cover, moved into the asteroid field, to I can only guess hope that an opening would present itself so it can escape. The Loki came across the prow of the Argo, lining up its starboard weapons. Feeling that the Loki had things under control, the Headhunter Squadron moved in on the Liberty, seeing that right now it was the greatest threat. The Liberty was then fired on from both sides by the Headhunters and the Chosen's Way, but the machine gods were with us this day and no damage was taken from the assault. The Loki then fired on the Argo, but its shots went wild.
I am Archmagnos Veneratus Gram. I am the will of the Omnissiah. This system will belong to the Mechanicum.
The Rough Riders came behind the Chosen's Way and began its pursuit. The Liberty moved in on the Loki to try and support the Argo as it went in to attempt a boarding action on the Loki. The Rough Riders fired on the Chosen Way but missed, as did the Liberty on the last remaining Headhunter. The Argo boarded the Loki.
Argo here. We can expect no more trouble from this ship. She's dead in the water.
The Star Crusher saw the opening it needed and disengaged from the battle. The Chosen's Way burned retros so it could swing around and get its starboard weapons to bear on the Liberty, while the Headhunter Squadron closed in on the Rough Rider. The Headhunters was able to destroy the Rough Rider, while the Chosen Way attacked the Liberty and dealt a critical hit.
Our starboard armament is offline, Magnus.
Get that back online now.
The Liberty and the Argo moved around the asteroid field, hoping to buy more time to get weapon systems back online, as well as get a better angle on the Chosen's Way and the Headhunter. Seeing the battle was lost, the Chosen Way disengaged from the battle, and the Headhunter tried to do the same, but it was unable to do so. Seeing it had nowhere to go, the last Headhunter moved in on the Argo and the Liberty. I don't know what her crew was thinking. It just simply flew right in between them, and was blown away. The system is ours, Archmagnos Veneratus.
Blessed be the Omnissiah. We have won a great victory for the Mechanicum. Now set up defensive posts and secure the system.
With our fleet at Doranpor, we can now offer better support to the Tau Empire. As we took the fight to the Sons of Horus on Doranpor, Yanoi received reports that a Necron convoy was moving its way through Callus. Seeing the opportunity to cripple the Magi Dynasty supply line, he sent a small force to the system to set up an ambush.
Yanoi, we have arrived at the Callus system. It appears we have gotten here before the convoy passed through.
Excellent. Now do not let them get through. We must stop these Necrons before they set up a supply line.
Lord Ammon, we have reached the Callus system. We are now running 2.9 rotations ahead of our timetable.
Excellent. With these supplies, we can escalate our assault.
The Magi Dynasty moved their supply ships through the system, seemingly unaware of the Tau forces lying in wait for them. But soon their presence would be discovered. As the convoy moved through the system, they sprang the first of the Tau traps, a salvo of deadfall torpedoes. The Necron convoy, seeing that their route was discovered, started to move at top speed, while their Shroud-class vessels stayed behind to try and eliminate the Tau torpedoes. The attempt was not successful. The salvo moved in and was able to take out one of the convoy ships. The Tau squadron named Rasu dropped out of stealth mode and closed in on the convoy, while more deadfall torpedoes activated. The convoy's path was covered in Tau torpedoes, but none seemed to be able to hit the mark. At this point, the Necrons took evasive maneuvers. The convoy ships came to a new heading to try and get out of the torpedo-covered path, and the Shroud vessels moved into a rear guard position. The Jackals moved in on the Rasu squadron, taking out one of the ships. The drone-guided missiles were doing their best to intercept the convoy, but were slowly breaking down as their time in space grew longer. The Ryeldi squadron came out of stealth mode and attacked the Necron fleet, while what was left of the Rasu squadron moved in to attack the convoy vessels. Both squadrons lit up the convoy vessels, but their attacks simply bounced off the Necron's reactive armor. Then the Magi Dynasty did something Yanoi's forces didn't expect. They flew right into a warp rift that had manifested. At first they hoped that the convoy would be eliminated outright, but instead they simply translated further through the system, making pursuit at this point impossible. Not satisfied with simply getting the convoy out of the system, the Necron vessels escorting the convoy turned and proceeded to nearly wipe out Ryeldi squadron. Just when the Necron ship seemed indestructible, one of the Tau deadfall torpedoes managed to strike a critical hit on one of the shrouds.
Power field disrupted. Our lightning arc is offline.
This mission has failed. All remaining ships, disengage.
Seeing that there was no chance, Lun Yung overstepped his bounds and called back the remaining ships. The rest of the Necron vessels caught up with the convoy and proceeded out of the system. This put the Tau as well as the Mechanicum at great risk. Since Yunoi's forces couldn't stop the Necron supply ships from getting to their destination, the Magi dynasty was now better supplied and ready to launch a full-scale attack.